Another vanilla exotic. The warlock exotic helmet, the Apotheosis veil, didn't really serve much purpose until the launch of the Dark Below, where it suddenly grew in popularity. Despite always being entirely subclass neutral, the veil had limited use in all environments, except for one very specific environment, being the raid at the time. But before I get into the places to use this exotic, let's look at the perks. So like most exotic helms now, you can reroll the perks to have increased super energy from a variety of weapon or ability kills, and you can heal or cooldown your abilities with all pickups. I think by now most Guardians will be aware that the best perk is always going to be Infusion or better already in the second slot to grant health from all pickups, but the first slot has some flexibility. I'd personally rather go with Inverse Shadow instead of Ashes to Asset, which is what I have on my Apotheosis veil, but given Warlocks already have excellent grenades, getting a stat roll of 109 made it worthwhile to keep in my opinion. I'll get into the stat rolls later, but the exotic perk actually received a buff since its introduction, where it now grants health, melee and grenade energy upon casting your super, instead of just granting health regen at launch. So what does this mean? Well, activating Radiance, Nova Bomb or Stormcaller will regenerate your health and fill up your grenade and melee charge, if they're not already filled up. The most valuable of these perks is the health recharge, so let's look at the subclasses that could benefit from gaining regen from activating a super. Just quickly, my Apotheosis veil is at 98% stat roll, which fits in well with my recommended 5-5-2 stat configuration. But anyway, starting with the Sunsinger, getting health back from popping your super can be useful, but given that you take reduced damage while in Radiance already, getting health back just from casting your super doesn't seem like a necessity. Also, if you're afraid of dying as a Sunsinger, it is far safer to hold on to your super for self-res, which gives you a full health boost from death anyway. The other bonuses on the veil, which tops off your grenade and melee, is borderline useless on the Sunsinger too, since activating your super will give you a full grenade and melee charge in a few seconds anyway. So would I recommend the veil for a Sunsinger? When exotics like Praxic and Starfire exist, not at all. Now for the Voidwalker. Again, it's hard to justify the need for regaining health on super activation. Most abilities in the Voidwalker skill tree already point to health regen, such as Lifesteal melees and Embrace the Void grenades and supers. So all three of your abilities regen your health and regen your grenade already, and there are other exotics to further cool down your super like Obsidian Mind, or give you endless lifesteal melees like the Ram. So in short, there is next to no reason to use the veil on a Voidwalker, unless you find yourself dying between the brief window of throwing your Nova Bomb to the point where it gets a kill. Even then there are exotics like the Skull of Ahamkara, further increase resistance while casting a Nova Bomb, so I would definitely not recommend the veil on a Voidwalker. So all that's left is the Stormcaller, and this subclass probably has the most potential for this exotic. There is already an ability to regenerate health in the skill tree, but requires full grenade and melee energy to work, so since you're getting health regen for free, and Transcendence only grants an extra couple of seconds to your Storm Trance duration, running the veil with something like Feedback might be an interesting choice. Getting the health regen without having to charge your other abilities can work well for a Stormcaller, and Feedback allows for more melee charges that help charge your super when coupled with Perpetual Charge and Rising Storm. So if I was going to recommend the veil, this is how I suggest using it. But I think this exotic could be made far stronger if Bungie just made a few tweaks to the exotic perk. Maybe something like get Transcendence for free, or casting a super with the veil will recharge all your abilities and thus allow you to use Transcendence. This was something that I was hoping would work, but unfortunately it didn't. I was hoping that since Apotheosis tops off your grenade and melee, it would trigger Transcendence despite the abilities not being fully charged. Without this feature, I really struggle to find use for the veil, especially since the Perpetual Feedback and Rising Storm build has been working so well for me with a 5-2-5 Claws of Ahamkara build. The specific use of this exotic in Year 1 was the final fight in Crota's End, particularly on hard mode. Health regen was disabled, and with no Chalice and limited infusion perks on helmets, running a Radiance Warlock with the veil wasn't a bad choice. Now that Crota is back at 390 light, you would think that the veil would have some relevant use again. Except the Chalice is now available during the fight, and players have become far better at getting helmets with health regenerating perks like Infusion and better already. So given that the one useful place for the veil is far less useful now, and there are so many other health regenerating options for a Warlock across all subclasses, I wouldn't bother with the veil. The only other environment where the veil might be okay is in the Crucible, but even then, there are so many better options for all subclasses. Thanks for watching guys, catch you on the next vid.